Hey y'all, I am back with another sponsored video, and this one is about Moon trine Saturn. And I'm calling it Dynasty because Moon trine Saturn can represent a dynasty. Dynasty meaning a succession of people from the same family who play a prominent role in business, politics, or another field. Just like in this TV series Dynasty that was airing in the 80s. Very popular primetime television show. This video has been sponsored by Jupiter Gone Wild. Thank you, Jupiter, for sponsoring another video. So Jupiter says, my Libra moon is at the 16th degree in the ninth house. It's making a trine to my Saturn in Aquarius at the 11th degree in my first house. These are some questions that I have about this placement in my natal chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the general manifestations of Moon trine Saturn, and then I'll answer your questions. So with Moon trine Saturn, the person could have a strong sense of personal responsibility, which is really good. Just keep in mind that this is a very positive aspect to have in your chart. And if you have this aspect, you could consider yourself to be quite fortunate. Hardworking, poised, disciplined, dedicated, successful. Ease in being a minimalist, can get by on very little. Your reputation precedes you. Having a solid memory, because the moon rules memory. Being honored. Longevity. It's that Saturn that produces the longevity. Ease in fasting. So if you have moon trine Saturn and you're trying to lose some weight, you might find fasting to be quite easy for you. At least intermittent fasting. Easy to lose weight because Saturn contributes to weight loss. Or you could say it promotes weight loss. Emotional control. Basic needs fulfilled. Being steadfast. Maturity from an early age. And you could be an old soul if you have moon trine Saturn. Things of yesteryear could just be very sentimental or very special to you. Even if you weren't born during the time period that you have an affinity with. Capacity to spend a lot of time in solitude. Saturn rules solitude. So when a person has moon trine Saturn, yes, they can be quite okay with spending a lot of time alone. Precision. So things that moon trine Saturn people produce can be precise. It's that Saturn influence in particular that promotes precision. Being exacting. Great recall of stories and accounts of the past. Having a no-nonsense personality. Basically, this is somebody that can get right down to business. Being conscientious. Being self-sufficient. Ease in moving up the ranks. Ease in test taking. Being favored by higher ups. Ease in handling matters of a delicate nature. Your location is integral to your success. So if you have moon trine Saturn and where you're currently at, you're not being successful, you might need to move in order to become successful. Soft, supple skin. Now, this isn't going to apply to everybody that has moon trine Saturn, but some people that have this aspect could have soft, supple skin. They could have a nice smile, nice teeth, good bone structure, chiseled features, statuesque physique, aging gracefully, being impeccably dressed or coiffed, being well put together, a recognizable look or appearance, a collector of antiques and vintage items, Timeliness, or you could say the person could be good at time management, or they could just be good at being at the right place at the right time. Female mentor, managerial ability, organizational ability, being dependable, reliable, respectful and honorable, respectable and being well respected, dignified, making a cultural impact, inheriting father's income. That's a possibility. I'm sorry, inheriting father's home. Why did I say income? Living with father, or your father might come to live with you when you get older, and maybe he can't take care of himself anymore, so you have him live with you. Father is a major positive influence in your life. A family of successful individuals or dynasty, carrying on a legacy, building an empire, family business, being around the upper crust of society. Status is a major theme, and that's coming from the Saturn influence because Saturn rules status. Creating or upholding family traditions, concierge class, a time capsule, living in a penthouse, being memorialized, being recognizable, making history, a home with a rich history, the bone collector, or collecting other artifacts, basically being an archaeologist, being an anthropologist, a career in real estate, owning commercial real estate, being a property manager, being an architect, a career or business that centers on women, being a restaurateur, being a chef or cook, being a museum curator, being a historian or archivist, being a president of a country or company. Case in point, Barack Obama has Moon trine Saturn. I didn't include him in the list of celebrities, but that's just an interesting fact. A personally fulfilling and rewarding career, working from home, home-based business, a business that offers customization of products or services, hotel management, being a professional psychic, working with the elderly, being an in-home caregiver, being a governess or governor, jobs that are compatible with your personality, a work mom or work family, being a moderator, an ambassador, the director, government jobs such as working in public housing, being a dentist, especially like family dentists, very Moon trine Saturn, military housing via military service, a bespoke tailor or other services. Your mother is your rock. Now, of course, this isn't going to apply to everybody that has Moon trine Saturn, but some people with Moon trine Saturn, their mother could be their rock. Following in your mother's footsteps in terms of career or business. Mother is your mentor. Help from other women, or sorry, older women. Attracting older women or being attracted to them. Connecting with a mother figure on the job or through profession, a work mother. Being the matriarch of the family. Having a sense of responsibility and devotion to mother. All right, so here are your questions, Jupiter. So I'm going to respond to your questions as I read them. And you provided like over 20 questions, so I had to narrow it down. I think I have about 20 in here. I think you provided like 26, so I had to like kind of scale it down. So I'm answering the most pertinent questions. So first is creative expression. And thank you for categorizing the questions. So she made categories of each set of questions, which is really nice. So here's the one set, creative expression. How can I use my moon in Libra's artistic and intellectual energy to enhance my creativity? So here's my answer. Use the works of others for inspiration. Travel internationally and take part in group tours. Join an artist guild, club, society, or network. Your next question is, how does Saturn in Aquarius in my first house help me develop creative discipline and structure? It can help you to hold yourself accountable in terms of achievable goals since Saturn is your chart ruler, by helping you to organize your time wisely, by an ability to be your own fan and creating a reward system for when you meet certain deadlines and objectives. What creative outlets would be most fulfilling for me given this trine? Providing commentary on content creators' material. So you could create a YouTube channel, especially because your Saturn's in Aquarius, where you provide commentary on what other YouTube content creators or even TikTok creators are posting. And those channels tend to be very popular. Conducting interviews via a podcast or show. Modern and freestyle dance, if you're into dancing. Psychic, intuitive, or metaphysical counselor, using astrology, tarot, numerology, etc. Being a matchmaker with the use of metaphysical tools like astrology. And number 4, how can this help me find my unique voice in the creative industry? So this provides you with the financial means to explore different avenues of creative expression and to be experimental. So Saturn is co-ruler of your second house because you have Aquarius on your second. So yes, if you're not if you don't have the financial means right now, you might have it in the future, which will enable you to explore different avenues of creative expression and to be experimental, which is very Aquarius. Career as a book influencer and pet spiritual advisor. Question number 1, how does this aspect help me build credibility and authority in my career? By being a good team player. That moon in Libra, trine Saturn in Aquarius can just naturally make you a good team player, and that can cause you to develop credibility or build credibility. By being results driven, and that's because Saturn rules the second house. Your ability to bring people together under a common cause. That's very moon in Libra, trine Saturn in Aquarius. Question number 2, what are the best ways for me to blend my intuitive and structured sides in my spiritual work? Structured side should take priority over the intuitive side if you want to be taken seriously, and especially because Saturn is your chart ruler, it's in your first house. So structure, represented by Saturn, should always come first. Create methods and systems and stick to them, but be open to tweaking and evolving. Tweaking the methods, that is, not mean tweaking out. Treat it as a business first, meaning your practice, and a spiritual practice second. And with that, hopefully you'll always err on the side of practicality, because when you're running any type of business, it doesn't matter if it's dealing with spiritual work, you always should err on the side of practicality. Trust your intuition regarding opportunities and potentially difficult clients. So, for instance, now you might not be able to just turn people away in the beginning because you're going to need that income. But later on down the road, once you become successful, or at least, you achieve some modicum of success, you could start being selective and saying, like, if somebody reaches out and they want a reading or whatever, and you're getting a sense that they're going to be a problem, you might want to refer them to someone else, or just say, I'm, booked up, I don't have any time right now, sorry. How does my moon in the ninth house influence the way I communicate knowledge in my book content? You have a need to bring knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to others. That's your moon in the ninth house. So you are likely to write a book that is comprehensive, informative, and thought-provoking. You have an ability to be fair and balanced in your viewpoints. That's your Libra moon. You will be careful not to offend certain groups of people. If it's a fiction book, you will do well with the character development. If it's nonfiction, you are likely to provide plenty of case studies to substantiate your claims. Question number 4. How can I use Saturn's discipline to stay consistent and professional in my entrepreneurial pursuits? Keep your friends and business associates separate. So this speaks of the square in your chart between Saturn and Aquarius and your Scorpio midheaven. This square is basically saying friendship and business do not mix. It's not going to work in this lifetime. Now, you can maybe make an exception here or there, but for the most part, keep friendship and business separate. Create a timeline of weekly objectives in order to remain consistent. Avoid placing too much focus on your personal experiences unless they directly correlate to the subject matter at hand. Matter, that is. That's a typo on my part. Emotional maturity and personal growth. Question number 1. How does this trine support my emotional stability and self-awareness? Well, this trine enables you to be self-sufficient, number 1, and it enables you to remain level-headed and objective. And it creates a need within you to use astrology to learn about yourself and others and for better decision making. Question number 2. What lessons does Saturn in the first house teach me about self-discipline and responsibility? Saturn in the first house can be hard on the body, so self-care is one of the lessons that it could teach. Hard lesson, that is. A lesson in patience with your own shortcomings. So when you have Saturn in the first house, you could just be hard on yourself, period. But instead of being hard on yourself, you need to be patient with yourself, especially when it comes to your shortcomings. Acknowledge them and then tell yourself that you're a work in progress and be patient and gentle with yourself. Realize that by changing your outlook, you can change your life for the better. Use an app that will send reminders of important tasks, goals, etc. Question number 3. How can I balance my desire for emotional connection, Moon in Libra, with my need for independence, Saturn in Aquarius? Be very selective in terms of the company that you keep. In terms of a relationship, it would help if the woman had a healthy dose of air and fire in her chart, because that's going to cause her to be very independent herself, more than likely. A long distance relationship, represented by your moon in Libra in the ninth, would be ideal. Question 4. How can I integrate this aspect's energy to cultivate confidence, wisdom, and resilience? Make your success and fulfillment be about the work itself, not about you, and how it positively impacts the lives of others instead of glorification of the self. So make it about the work, not yourself. Friendships. Question number 1. How does my moon in the ninth house shape the way I form and maintain friendships? Friendships could be formed through schooling, college level, travel, spiritual groups, and social venues. Friendships are maintained through allowing each other space by being understanding, forgiving, and generous. Question number 2. How can Saturn in my first house help me attract loyal and supportive friends? Friends will be put to the test in some way with Saturn and Aquarius in your first, so try not to be so reliant upon friends in terms of support and loyalty. Again, remember you have Saturn and Aquarius squaring your Scorpio midheaven. Question number 3. How can I develop emotionally fulfilling friendships while staying true to myself? Friendships should largely be on your terms because your Saturn is in Aquarius and it's in your first house. where you dictate how much time you will be spending with them. Saturn rules time. So with Saturn in Aquarius in your first house, you always got to think about it's your time. Your friends are on your time. Friendships should be aligned or at least compatible with your goals and interests. Question number 4. What types of people align best with my energy for lasting connections? Air and fire sign dominant individuals. Also, individuals who fall in your 11th house, Sagittarius in particular, especially when one of their planets touch your Venus, albeit in a good way. So it's important to know the difference. Some friends who have planets conjoined to your Venus will be loyal, generous, adventurous, and funny. Others will take advantage of your generosity. They will be freeloading, fair weather friends. Be careful with the friends who have Sagittarius energy in your 12th house, unless this friend is an artist or spiritual adherent. Individuals who fall into your 3rd house, that would be Aries, could be good friends as well, especially in terms of more casual friendships. Basically, the see you when I see you type of friendship. No expectations, no demands, but expect frequent communication and idle chatter. The Leo friends could pose the most challenges out of the fire signs. The lines between friendship and romance could be blurred, especially if the Leo falls in your 8th house. Libras could provide a nice friendship that gives you plenty of space. You may not hear from them too often, but when you do, it's on. Traveling with Libra dominant friends could be a major theme in your life. Gemini friends could also be lovers, or you may develop a crush on one. Expect a lot of fun, good times, and admiration. Healthy reciprocal romance with a woman. She said reciprocal because she got that moon in Libra, and Libra is about reciprocation. Question number 1. How does my moon in Libra influence the way I seek and express love? So with that 9th house Libra moon, it makes you optimistic and where you want to see the good in women. You may be too smitten by an attractive woman who is philosophical, spiritual, and knowledgeable of a wide variety of subjects. If she has a degree or even if she's self-taught, that is a plus. You would love to travel with a woman and learn together. You are all about reciprocity, even if you don't make a big deal about it to your partner. You want a social life. You are very understanding and forgiving. Question number 2. How does Saturn in Aquarius impact the type of woman I attract or commit to? You could attract a woman who is significantly older or younger than you. The common denominator here is age. Saturn rules age. With Saturn being in your 1st house, you may be the one with the maturity that a woman, which is represented by the moon, is aspiring to. So you might be the older woman and you might get with a woman who is younger than you. Attracting a woman with a similar career path or business, or meeting a woman in the course of doing business. Question number 3. What lessons does this trine teach me about emotional maturity in relationships? It teaches you that when you put work first, you can attract the right woman. To be conscientious when it comes to how your actions impact others. To be attuned to your partner's needs, especially in the intuitive sense. Aquarius being intuition, that's your Saturn. Then the 9th house moon makes you very intuitive as well. Since the 9th house moon can represent a woman who doesn't like asking for help. Let me read that again. Now, to be conscientious when it comes to how your actions impact others. To be attuned to your partner's needs, especially in the intuitive sense. Since the 9th house moon can represent a woman who doesn't like asking for help. To be willing and open to learning from others, even if they are younger than you. Seniority doesn't always rule. Question number 4. How does this aspect support long-term, stable love affair with a woman? You are the one who holds the key to longevity with Saturn occupying your 1st house. So be tolerant while still commanding respect. Be willing to hear a woman out and try to remain objective. Be self-sufficient rather than codependent. Scorpio, you being a Scorpio, is naturally inclined towards codependence. So this could be one of your biggest challenges. Also, refrain from being legally married because when I looked at your seventh house, that's where you could run into some trouble. So this moon in Libra trying Saturn in Aquarius can deal with a relationship that could even be long term, but where the two of you are not married. Refrain from having children or try to avoid dating women with children because there's some issues involving children in your chart as well. And more than likely, you're not going to want to experience that. All right, let's get into some celebrities. So I hope I was able to answer your questions. Hope I was able to provide you with some insight and understanding of that Moon trine Saturn aspect in your chart. So first we have Victoria Beckham. She's an Aries, and she has Moon in Aquarius in her ninth house, trine Saturn in Gemini in her 12th. So these facts about her life are pertaining to this trine. She rose to prominence in the 1990s as a member of the pop group the Spice Girls, in which she was nicknamed Posh Spice. So, being a member of a prominent group, Moon in Aquarius, trine Saturn in Gemini. Anthony William Adams, who worked as an electronics engineer and drove a Rolls-Royce, sometimes she would later something she would later dispute. So this is dealing with her father, Anthony William Adams. Father was from the upper crust. He drove a Rolls-Royce, even though she later disputed it. But I wouldn't be surprised if that was true, with Saturn and Gemini being a father's car. They founded an electronics wholesale business, which allowed a comfortable upbringing for Victoria, her sister Louise, and her brother Christian Adams. So, father owning an electronics business, that's very Moon in Aquarius. Aquarius rules electronics, trine Saturn in Gemini. On September 13th, 2001, Beckham released her first book, Learning to Fly. That's the epitome of this trine right here, with flying being that Moon in Aquarius, learning being Saturn in Gemini. Learning to Fly became the third best-selling nonfiction title of 2001, and the total UK sales stand at more than 500,000 copies. When the book was first released, it went to number one in the book charts after 4 weeks of release. So that's dealing with that trine as well. Beckham was appointed officer of the Order of the British Empire in the 2017 New Year honors for services to the fashion industry. So her being given honors, that's very Moon trine Saturn. Liberace, Taurus. As you'll see, I decided to narrow down my list to just include one person from each sign because sometimes I could get carried away. Moon in Sagittarius in the 12th, trine Saturn in Leo in the 8th. Consummate over the top entertainer. At the height of his fame from the 1950s to the 1970s, he was the highest paid entertainer in the world, with established concert residencies in Las Vegas and an international touring schedule. He embraced a lifestyle of flamboyant excess both on and off stage. So this whole couple of sentences is dealing with this trine right here, especially him being an international star, very popular, and also the flamboyance as well. Liberace was praised for his flair and showmanship. Liberace's music must be served within all the available tricks, as loud as possible, as soft as possible, and as sentimental as possible. It's almost all showmanship, topped by whipped cream and cherries. That's very Moon in Sagittarius, trine Saturn in Leo. The Saturn in Leo would be the showmanship, topped by whipped cream and cherries. That would be the Moon in Sagittarius, just be over the top, basically. Liberace exudes a love that is returned to him a thousandfold. His lavish celebrity homes. He further obscured his sexuality in articles such as Mature Women Are Best. TV's top pianist reveals what kind of woman he'd marry. So he's basically representing the maturity side of that moon trine Saturn with him saying he likes mature women. But that was a cover for his homosexuality. Now, in a 2011 interview, actress and close friend Betty White confirmed that Liberace was indeed gay and that she often was used as a beard by his managers to counter public rumors of the musician's homosexuality. So, this trine is representing Betty White, her statement about being his beard. Nicole Kidman, Gemini. Moon in Sagittarius in the second house, trine Saturn in Aries, sixth house. Kidman has served as a goodwill ambassador. Remember, I said Moon trine Saturn could be an ambassador for UNICEF since 1994 and UNIFEM since 2006. She was appointed Companion of the Order of Australia in 2006. Her mother, Janelle Ann, which is represented by her moon in Sagittarius, a nursing instructor and member of the Women's Electoral Lobby, edited her husband's books. That's very moon in Sagittarius, trine Saturn in Aries. Being born in Hawaii, she was given the Hawaiian name Hokulani, meaning heavenly star. When Kidman was born, her father was a graduate student at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. So her father being a graduate student when she was born, very moon in Sagittarius, trine Saturn in Aries, and also her basically being in Hawaii and given that Hawaiian name is very much moon in Sagittarius, trine Saturn in Aries. Aries rules names. Saturn rules fathers. That moon in Sagittarius is representing Hawaii, but also the university that her father was studying at. Now, in 1984, her mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, which caused Kidman to halt her acting work temporarily while she studied massage therapy to help her mother with physical therapy. That's very moon in Sagittarius, trine Saturn in Aries. Just that moon in Sagittarius alone can represent a mother who has cancer. And then that moon trine Saturn is just representing Nicole Kidman being devoted to her mother, even to the point where she took off from work. Saturn and Aries in the sixth, helping her mother. The movie Eyes Wide Shut is very moon in Sagittarius, trine Saturn and Aries, with that moon in Sagittarius representing rich people, her moving in rich circles, the status that was implied in that film. Kidman returned to the screen to play a mail-order bride in the British American drama Birthday Girl. So playing a mail-order bride is very moon in Sagittarius, trine Saturn and Aries. Kidman garnered critical acclaim for her portrayal of Virginia Woolf in Stephen Daldry's The Hours, co-starring alongside Meryl Streep and Julianne Moore. Kidman wore prosthetics, which were applied to her nose to portray the author during the 1920s England, making her look almost unrecognizable. So the prosthetic nose is represented by Moon in Sagittarius, trine Saturn and Aries. That Sagittarius is basically enlarging the nose. John Goodman, Gemini. He has Moon in Gemini in the 10th, trine Saturn and Libra in the 2nd. Goodman has received various accolades, including a Primetime Emmy Award. So receiving awards, very Moon trine Saturn. Goodman gained recognition playing the family patriarch. Family patriarch, Moon trine Saturn all day. TV show, that's very Moon in Gemini. This is like TV dad. So Goodman gained recognition playing the family patriarch Dan Connor in the ABC comedy series Roseanne and The Connors. Goodman has an older brother, Leslie, who is 14 years his senior. So basically having an older brother that's kind of like a father figure. It's pointing to Moon in Gemini. Gemini rules siblings, trine Saturn and Libra. Until ninth grade, Goodman was in the Boy Scouts, which he said offered him the structure and camaraderie he missed. Goodman additionally looked to Boy Scout leaders and later acting coaches as father figures, because his father passed away when he was very young. His brother later returned home to help raise Goodman and his sister. Markiplier. He's a famous YouTuber, has tons of subscribers, makes tons of money. So Markiplier is a Cancer. He has Moon and Taurus in the 11th house, that's social media, internet, trine Saturn and Uranus and Neptune in Capricorn in his 7th. This is a perfect recipe for being a big time YouTuber. Now, he was listed by Forbes as the third highest paid content creator on the platform in 2022 and has won 4 Streamy Awards and a Golden Joystick Award. He signed with talent agency William Morris Endeavor in 2016. While with the agency, he released a clothing line, very Moon in Taurus, trine Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune in Capricorn. In March 2018, in celebration of reaching 20 million subscribers, Fishbach announced he would donate all proceeds from a 48-hour sale of his Tasteful Nudes charity calendar to the Cancer Research Institute. He raised over $490,000 for the charity and won the 2020 Oliver R. Grace Award. So being awarded, the charity part comes in with that Neptune. The success of the Tasteful Nudes calendar, the nudes part, that's the Uranus influence. The success of the Tasteful Nudes calendar, and calendars are ruled by Saturn. The success of the Tasteful Nudes calendar inspired Fishbach to start an account on OnlyFans, whose proceeds will be split evenly between the Cincinnati Children's Hospital and the World Food Program. Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, Leo. She had Moon in Aries in her 5th house, trine Saturn and Sagittarius in the 2nd. Jacqueline Lee Kennedy Onassis was an American socialite who served as the First Lady of the United States from 1961 to 1963 as the wife of President John F. Kennedy. A popular First Lady, she endeared herself to the American public with her devotion, that's very Moon trine Saturn, to her family, dedication to the historic preservation of the White House, the campaign she led to preserve and restore historic landmarks and architecture, along with her interest in American history, culture, and the arts. That's so Moon trine Saturn. During her lifetime, she was regarded as an international icon for her unique fashion choices, and her work as a cultural ambassador, there's that word again, ambassador, of the United States made her very popular globally. Saturn and Sagittarius. And she was named after her father. That's very Moon in Aries, trine Saturn in Sagittarius, with Aries ruling names, Saturn ruling fathers. She looked up to her father, who likewise favored her over her sister. That's Saturn in the 2nd house. That's a father that engages in favoritism, calling his eldest child the most beautiful daughter a man ever had. Biographer Tina Santi Flattery reports Jacqueline's early confidence in herself, seeing a link to her father's praise and positive attitude to her, and her sister Lee Radziwill stated that Jacqueline would not have gained her independence and individuality had it not been for the relationship she had with her father and paternal grandfather, John Vernel Bouvier Jr. From an early age, Jacqueline was an enthusiastic equestrian and successfully competed in the sport, and horse riding remained a lifelong passion. So that paragraph is dealing with this trine all day. The horses, that's represented by Saturn and Sagittarius. Her looking up to her father, that's Saturn and Sagittarius, trine that moon. Cat Williams, Virgo. Moon in Aquarius in the 6th house, trine Saturn and Gemini in the 10th. He stated that he learned to read at 3 years old and was communicating in multiple languages, including French and Creole. Now, I think some of this is an exaggeration, but I do believe he probably was very smart as a child, advanced, having that Moon in Aquarius, trine Saturn and Gemini, that can produce somebody that is very intelligent. Williams emancipated himself from his parents at age 13 and moved to Florida. Though homeless and living in a park, he supported himself as a street vendor. Moon in Aquarius, trine Saturn and Gemini. That Moon in Aquarius is his emancipation and working as the street vendor. That's Saturn and Gemini. He was the roast master of the Comedy Central roast of Flavor Flav. In 2018, he played the character Willie in the season 2 premiere of Atlanta, for which he won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Comedy Series. The award is Moon Trine Saturn. Matt Damon, Libra. He has Moon in Capricorn in the 12th, Trine Saturn in Taurus in the 3rd. I was just watching The Talented Mr. Ripley tonight. I've seen it a number of times. I put it on because I needed some background noise while I was doing some work, but I love that movie. Now, he was ranked among Forbes' most bankable stars in 2007. You see, he got Saturn and Taurus. And in 2010 was one of the highest grossing actors of all time. He has received various awards and nominations, including an Academy Award and 2 Golden Globe Awards, in addition to nominations for 3 British Academy Film Awards and 7 Primetime Emmy Awards. That's very Moon in Capricorn, Trine Saturn, and Taurus, all those awards, all that recognition. His mother's by the book approach to child rearing. Very Moon in Capricorn, Trine Saturn, and Taurus. That no nonsense type of mother. Very traditional. Damon is a spokesperson for Feeding America, a hunger relief organization, and a member of the Entertainment Council, participating in their Ad Council public service announcements. So this is mainly about the hunger relief because that Saturn and Taurus in trine with Moon and Capricorn can produce that. Moon and Capricorn can deal with starvation. Damon has been part of promoting those efforts, tying in with the Aquafina and Ethos water brands of bottled water. Since 2015, Damon has promoted Anheuser-Busch and Bev Stella Artois beer brand as a water.org partner. That's dealing with that as well. In October 2021, he announced a new partnership with the cryptocurrency trading platform Crypto.com, under which Crypto.com was to make $1 million donation to Water.org. In the announcement, Damon said, Crypto.com gave us this great donation, which is amazing. So, getting the donation for the organization from Crypto.com, that's that Moon in Capricorn in the 12th house is crypto. In 2018, Damon bought a luxury penthouse. Remember, I said Moon Trine Saturn could deal with living in a penthouse? In 2018, Damon bought a luxury penthouse in New York City's Brooklyn Heights neighborhood for $16.5 million. Yes. Now, this right here is very Moon Trine Saturn, this quote of his about his wife. He said, we have a 2-week rule. We can't be apart as a family for longer, and so far we haven't gone beyond a week. I am doing a movie in Vancouver at the moment, and I get a red-eye flight Friday night. Then on Sunday night, I catch the red-eye flight back so I could get back to Vancouver at 1:30 a.m. Then I sleep and go to work at 5:30 a.m. It's brutal. The good news is that the kids know that I'm going to be home every weekend. As they are waking up on Saturday morning, I come through the door. So that's Moon in Capricorn, Trine Saturn and Taurus all day. Him being held accountable to be back home on time. Yes, I like that. Him being devoted to his wife and family. Yes, taking it serious, being no nonsense about it. Married to wife for 20 years, strong sense of responsibility to wife and family. Bjork. I love Bjork. Bjork is a Scorpio. She has Moon in Scorpio in the 12th, trine Saturn and Pisces in the 3rd. At 6, Bjork enrolled in Reykjavik School. I am not even going to try to pronounce, let me try to pronounce this. Barna Musical Scholi, where she studied classical piano and flute. After a school recital in which Bjork sang Tina Charles' 1976 hit, I Love to Love, her teacher sent a recording of her singing the song to the RUV radio station, which at the time was Iceland's only radio station. The recording was broadcast nationally, and after hearing it, a representative of the Falcon record label offered Bjork a recording contract. So the teachers that basically put her on, That's Saturn and Pisces in that third house. When they later decide to keep playing together as a group, they use the name kukul or sorcery in Icelandic. That's very moon in Scorpio, trine Saturn in Pisces. That is a sorcery type of aspect. These two signs together can manifest as sorcery. Scorpio and Pisces. Now, Bjork's work is idiosyncratically collaborative, having worked with various producers, photographers, fashion designers, and music video directors. She, however, believes that her male collaborators have received more credit than her, which Bjork attributes to her being a female artist. But all the collaborations with the different photographers and fashion designers, music video directors, and all that, that's very moon in Scorpio, trine Saturn in Pisces. Richard Pryor, Sagittarius. He had Moon in Capricorn in the 10th, trine Saturn in Taurus in the 2nd. He was a member of Henry Brown Lodge number 22 in Peoria, where he became a Prince Hall Freemason. So Moon trine Saturn can deal with being a Mason, being in a elite society. So that Moon in Capricorn, that's the Black Masons in particular, with Capricorn ruling the color black, and Prince Hall Freemason, those are the Masons that are black because the regular Masons wouldn't allow black men in. In 1983, Pryor signed a 5-year contract with Columbia Pictures for $40 million, dollars, and he started his own production company, Indigo Productions. Pryor co-hosted the Academy Awards twice. Pryor met actress Pam Grier through comedian Freddie Prinze. They began dating when they were both cast in Grease Lightning, 1977. Grier helped Pryor learn to read and tried to help him with his drug addiction. So a woman helping him to like rise in status. Very moon in Capricorn, trine Saturn and Taurus. A woman that he met through work. Very moon in Capricorn, trine Saturn and Taurus. A woman helping him to appear more normal or seem more normal. Moon in Capricorn, trine Saturn and Taurus. Jennifer Lee, who was one of his wives, an actress and interior designer whom Pryor had hired to decorate his home. So Pryor marrying an interior designer, very much Moon in Capricorn, trine Saturn and Taurus, with Taurus being the designer. Artist Preston Jackson created a life-size bronze statue in dedication to the beloved comedian and named it Richard Pryor, more than just a comedian. So him having a statue made in his honor, very moon in Capricorn, trine Saturn and Taurus. And the movie Brewster's Millions, released in 1985, is very moon in Capricorn, trine Saturn and Taurus. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out, and you'll see what I mean about this trine. Nicolas Cage, Capricorn. So Nicolas Cage has Moon in Libra in the 10th, trine Saturn in Aquarius in the 2nd. He is the recipient of various accolades, including an Academy Award, a Screen Actors Guild Award, a Golden Globe Award, as well as nominations for 2 BAFTA Awards. Now, Nicolas Cage is an example of someone who comes from a dynasty, the Coppola dynasty. So he was born into the Coppola family. Joy Vogelsang, mother, a dancer and choreographer. That's very much dealing with this trine right here, especially with that moon in Libra ruling dance. Cage owns the production company Saturn Films. So moon trine Saturn, very much dealing with Saturn Films. His second marriage was to singer-songwriter Lisa Marie Presley, daughter of Elvis and Priscilla Presley. Cage, an Elvis fan, used Elvis as the inspiration for his performance in Wild at Heart. So him marrying a woman that he's a fan of, he was a fan of her father, that's the epitome of Moon in Libra, trine Saturn in Aquarius. Aquarius rules fans. Father is Saturn. Cage has also been honored with a humanitarian award from the United Nations for his work and appointed as a UN ambassador. There we go again, ambassador for global justice in 2009 and again in 2013. So that whole humanitarian award, that's very Saturn in Aquarius. He supported the United Negro College Fund efforts and the Royal United Hospital's Forever Friends appeal to build intensive care units for babies. You see this, Friends? Aquarius rules Friends. And that movie Peggy Sue Got Married, which deals with like time travel and all that. That's very Moon in Libra, trine, Saturn in Aquarius. Jennifer Aniston, Aquarius. She has Moon in Sagittarius in the second, trine Saturn in Aries in the sixth. She rose to international fame, international, that's Sagittarius, for her role. International is Moon in Sagittarius in particular, because the Moon is nations and Sagittarius is, international. Sagittarius is foreign. Sagittarius is long distance travel. So she rose to international fame for her role as Rachel Green on the television sitcom Friends from 1994 to 2004, which earned her Primetime Emmy, Golden Globe, and Screen Actor Guilds Awards. So all this recognition and awards. The program was a massive hit, and Aniston, along with her co-stars, gained worldwide recognition. Worldwide, Moon in Sagittarius, recognition, Saturn. And especially for her hair. You see how her Saturn's in Aries, Aries rules hair. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, Aniston, along with her female co-stars, became the highest paid television actress of all time with her $1 million per episode paycheck during the final season of Friends. That's outrageous. After a 4-year hiatus, Aniston returned to film work in 1996 when she performed in the ensemble cast of romantic comedy She's the One. She became the new face of Emirates Airline in 2015, which was reportedly a success. So basically the new face, Saturn and Aries, but just that's kind of like an ambassador. It's an honor. So that's dealing with that as well. And then with her being an Aquarius, it makes sense. Airplane. Now, in 2013, she was named the Entertainment Industry Foundation Ambassador. Here we go, Ambassador, for the Saks Fifth Avenue Key to the Cure campaign, which raises funds for the EIF Women's Cancer Research Fund. Remember, I said Moon in Sagittarius could be a woman with cancer. Fanaticism over her hair. That's very Moon in Sagittarius, trine Saturn and Aries. Like back then, like a bunch of women were trying to copy her hairstyle. Not this, but when she was playing on Friends. And then last but not least, we have Diane Arbus, Pisces. I knew nothing about this woman until I was preparing for this video and I was looking for celebrities that had this aspect in their charts. And I stumbled upon this woman, and her story is rather interesting. And I decided to include her, namely, like her face really drew me in. I wanted to know her story. Well, you see her with a camera right here. She's a Pisces. Pisces rules photography and cameras. So she had Moon in Aquarius in the second house, trine Saturn in Libra. So all these bullet points are dealing with this trine right here. She photographed a wide range of subjects, including strippers, carnival performers, nudists, people with dwarfism, children, mothers, couples, elderly people, and middle-class families. She photographed her subjects in familiar settings, their homes, on the street, in the workplace, in the park. She is noted for expanding notions of acceptable subject matter and violates canons of the appropriate distance between photographer and subject. By befriending, not objectifying her subjects, she was able to capture in her work a rare psychological intensity. Arbus's imagery helped to normalize marginalized groups and highlight the importance of proper representation of all people. So this part right here, Normalized, marginalized groups. That's the epitome of that moon in Aquarius in the second house. And like basically her brand of photography was very much on the humanitarian level, very much dealing with people who were considered oddballs, weird, strange, which is so moon in Aquarius. And she's giving them recognition. She's basically celebrating them, putting them out in public, making them more known, like how it says here, highlight the importance of proper representation of all people. That's very moon in Aquarius, trine Saturn and Libra. That could have made her very much about equality. John Szorkowski, the director of photography at the Museum of Modern Art, championed her work and included it in his 1967 exhibit, New Documents. Her photographs were also included in a number of other major group shows. Arbus and her husband separated in 1959, although they maintained a close friendship. That's very Moon in Aquarius, trine Saturn in Libra, maintaining a close friendship despite no longer being married. Now, this trine benefited her in a number of ways, but it didn't save her from her death, which was via suicide. So, as you can see in this picture of her, she looked like she was very depressed. So, unfortunately, she took her own life. I'm not sure. I can't remember what year, but yeah, really a sad story. But that concludes my video on Moon trine Saturn. I hope you enjoyed it. Jupiter, I hope you received some more understanding and insight regarding this trine. And I hope you continue to do well with it. I hope that you succeed in everything that you embark upon. And thank you once again for sponsoring this video. I really enjoyed preparing it for you. If you would like to sponsor a video, you can send me an email and you can put video sponsorship on the subject line and just write in the message area what you would like to, what type of video you would like me to do. It could be about a person, it could be about an aspect, it could be about a planet in a sign or a planet in a house. Uh, it could be about yourself. It could be about somebody you know, and we could keep it anonymous. It's up to you, but just write down what you would like to see, and we'll talk about how much the sponsorship is and all that. If you would like a reading, you could go to my website. The link is in the description section. Thank you. Peace, many blessings, and I'll be back soon with some more videos.